and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7-Figure Fashion Business Podcast,
where we talk about the fashion industry and how to get your fashion business to 7 figures.
From manufacturing strategies, cut and sew designers, to fashion hot topics and the latest fashion trends, I'm your host, Monique.
And I'm your host, XYZ. And let's jump into today's episode.
All right, you guys. So here's the part 2 to the part 1. If you didn't listen to part 1, go to the last episode and come back. Right now, we're continuing the conversation of us kind of arguing. You know, Z has to check me on what I did wrong, and I kind of had to tell her, I can't do anything if you don't voice your concerns. We continue the conversation, and hopefully you guys learn something from our mistakes. Here's part 2.
So, like you asked if I wanted to run a store or whatever, I feel like, I'm not sure, but I feel like I said no. I feel like I don't feel like I said like completely no, but I said like, okay, no, like not too much. Like, I feel like I remember us saying like Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Right.
Commission.
Agreed.
Right?
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes. And literally that's what I thought was being done when I left.
No,
I literally thought she was.
day.
I thought that Deasia was only in the store those 3 days. You never told me until I think the second week. Like, no, I've been here every day, and I was like confused.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, because you left like a lot. You left a lot. I don't think you think it's a lot because like you sew every day. Like, and you've been sewing for like years. So it's like a system for you. I don't know. Like,
Yes, I
so
agree.
like say if like I don't know, like you sewing, you run into a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been sewing for so long, so you know how to problem solve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but like me, I don't know. Like I think if something take you 3 hours, it's gonna take me 6.
Mm-hmm.
Like you personally, like, cause you in the system, like you got it in your head, like you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, so it took me like a long time to work on everything. So I just knew not to go home, go to sleep, or like I just knew like to wake up, get there early, or like. So I knew not to like not be there. Like I know it's supposed to be Thursday through Saturday, but I knew not to do that because it was a lot. Like, and I know we talked about it, but I remember you mentioning something like the Ireland ladies. We was here. It was on the episode. I know you mentioned like the Ireland
Really?
ladies.
I don't remember that, but okay.
We was here. We're gonna hear it in one of the episodes. But you mentioned it. You was like, speaking of Dubai, you said something like, speaking of Dubai, the Ireland ladies are picking up when you're here. When you're here, whatever. So you mentioned that, and then I knew about the magician. You asked me about the magician. So I didn't know you was like actually leaving like stuff. I'm just thinking like they picking up, it's gonna be like little things. And then when you mentioned the magician, when he was there, I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. So I'm really thinking it's those like 4 orders. Like I didn't think you was leaving.
I still think those were little things though. That's the crazy part.
But like say if it was only that, that would have been fine. Like that's what I'm thinking you leaving. But I didn't know it was like so much more than it. Like,
but remember, a couple days before I left, I had everything hanging up, and I was like, okay, this is this. This just needs sleeves. This one just needs buttons. This one
that was the day
just
you
needs
left.
feathers.
It was the day you left.
Okay.
It was like the day you left. You just like start
going down the list.
And then there was still stuff like on a cut table, like that I still never got to. Like it was like a lot.
The day I left.
The day you left.
Well, yeah, of course you didn't get to it. It was literally supposed to be for the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I about to say? But I forgot what I was about to say. Lost my train of thought. But I was just like, I feel like I was like blindsided, right, by that. Like I really thought it was going to be like, I didn't know you was leaving anything at all. Like I just thought I was opening the store, selling the clothes, and working on the Ireland lady stuff.
Okay, you talking about like the week before the trip? You thought that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I found out that, like, the day you left, that you was leaving stuff.
Okay. Because I felt like I said that every day, but okay.
No. I don't. Okay. That's why I'm like, like, it was really a communication thing. Like, it was all about communication. But then, like, me, like, I had all this stuff planned already. Like, I know I had to come to the store, like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I already put that in my head.
Right.
So I still, like, you know, like, still had to go to work. I don't think I told you that we was getting fired. Well.
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh. Okay.
I think that was also, like, the week of, you told me.
Oh, okay. So, at work.
At your other job.
At my other job. They was doing a 30%, like, they was firing 30% of the staff. Like, the job is just crazy. So, I feel like them firing 30% of the staff was smart. So, we were just really under, like, evaluation, and they was, like, strict. Like, they wasn't playing. So, you said I told you, but I don't remember if I told you that.
Okay.
So, like, I really was trying to, like,
what you told me was you were going to quit that job a week prior. Yeah. So I'm thinking that this is a job that you don't even care about.
I remember saying that part.
Yeah.
Still plan on quitting, but at that time, it wasn't smart.
Okay.
It just wasn't. And then, like, all this stuff just kept happening. You know, I had a crazy month.
Right. Yes.
So it was just, like, bad, like, personal stuff going on. So I think it was just that. Like, me trying to have a regular life, like, me living my regular life, and then, like, me just turning into you. Like, I was a full-time boss. Like, I seen, like, okay, what it takes to, like, run a business or run a fashion business. So it was, like, it was just, like, a lot.
Yeah.
So, the day you're leaving, you say, like, you say all these orders. I'm, like, looking at it. I'm saying in my head, I'm like,
it's a lot of likes in these stories.
I'm not going to be able to. I already, like, had a negative thought on it, and I was like, why do she trust me with this?
Right.
But I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be negative.
In my mind, I'm like, we literally just had a crazy prom season, right? Yeah. That had a lot of orders in it, and you were there the whole time helping me with each order.
That was still crazy too.
It was crazy too, but everything got done, and let's say out of 100 orders, there was maybe 2 people that were unfulfilled. But literally that whole time, you were my backbone. So I felt like throughout this trip, especially because you've worked with me on and off for like 4 years. Yeah. So that's kind of why I had that much confidence in you. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, and I know you want to be your own fashion boss. You have like a whole bunch of collections. Well, another collection coming out soon. So I'm like, this will be a great opportunity. Yeah. And plus you're like my second in command at the store. So it would be a great opportunity to kind of see, for you to see for sure, you know, running it day to day. Honestly, I felt like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, everything was achievable within those days. It's crazy. Like,
but it wasn't even just me though. Like, the other seamstress, she just was like, okay, so like, right, okay, so me being right under you, like, people be mad at you, but they won't tell you. Like, they'll tell me, right? So, but this is not just like, like, this is not just from the last month. This is just like the whole, like, 4 years, like, I've been working with you.
Okay.
But it's nothing for me to say. Like, it'll be like coworkers, like, you know, like, me and you, we have our own relationship. But like, me having like the coworkers and me being like a worker, like, we all have our own relationship. So like, they'll be mad at you or something, they'll tell me. Or like, somebody at the fabric store will be mad at you, they'll tell me. Or like, so her being mad at you, like, I feel like if you was there, like, she wouldn't have told you everything that she was saying.
Okay.
But like, she like was like venting to me, like, and she was just like, this was just way too much. And she literally just handed me the dress, and she was like, I have no more time.
Right.
But I'm trying
the second time.
Yeah, the second time. The second time. She was mad that she had to come back and pick up the dress.
She did not have to. She said that she would. This is my thing. I understand people don't want to tell the boss no. However, if you literally cannot do it, don't know how to do it, think you will do it wrong, say you can't do it. I would if I was working for somebody.
I felt like I just was like,
yeah.
In the very beginning, I'm like, oh, this is too much. I feel like I did it, but then I'm like, okay, you're away, so I'm just gonna have to get through it.
Right, but then I don't know. I felt like if y'all couldn't do a certain thing, a certain task, you would honestly just say, honestly, Monica, this is too much. But or I really don't know how to do this, or actually I don't feel comfortable or confident doing this. So can you just have somebody else come and do this, or can this not be done? Like what can we do? Because I don't feel confident doing this order. Nobody ever said anything to me like that the whole time. Everybody said, okay, you know what, I'll do this. I feel like I said
it at first. It was the very first. I'm like, probably just gotta scroll up. Because I said something and then your response was, yeah, you're right. And then it was like I asked myself, I said, what was the point of even texting that? Because what are you going to do from miles away? Right. And I'm just like, okay, I just have to get through it. And I just have to do the orders. Like, I wasn't about to mess up. Like, it was the talk shows, a wedding. Like, it was a lot of weddings. I wasn't about to mess up those events. Like, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Like, right. I know how to sew. Right. But like some stuff, I don't know. Like customers, they have different energy with me than versus like what they would have with you. Mm-hmm. Like,
I'm curious to know who at the fabric store is mad at me.
Nobody.
Ever.
That was an example. That was an example. Okay. Like people don't be mad at you, but like sometimes they'll say stuff to me.
Right, that they wouldn't say to me.
Yeah. But I don't understand. Like customers do that. Like customers will be mad at you, but take it out on me. Like
which customer? Because are you talking about those crazy customers during prom season?
Just like over the years, I can't even.
Oh, okay. Because I'm about to say that 1 week that we had crazy customers back to back to back, they don't count because they all
that do count. That's like
they were all going off of each other's energy. I feel like one was hyping the other one up.
Not even those two.
Oh, okay.
The little boy.
What little boy? Oh, that boy. Okay.
Like, like he trying to find you, but he
took it out on you. Yeah.
Like little stuff like that. Like people be mad at you, but they'll really like I'll get all the smoke. No, that happens like a lot.
It possibly. I'm not breathing because I don't think it happens a lot. I'm breathing because that annoys me because I want all the smoke. I really do. That's why when I heard that boy yelling at you and you were like, I was downstairs. That's why I just came upstairs, came to the door, like, give me the smoke. Like, what's up? Because because this is not for her to take. Right. So to hear that maybe other customers do that as well, I feel like you should just say if a customer or a person has an issue with me that they too scared to tell me.
But it's like
I feel like you should tell me in front of them and be like, tell her what you just said.
But it's just like I don't know, I sew too, so I know like customers can be crazy, so I just be like, I don't care. Like right. Like I don't know.
But me as the owner, I just want all this smoke because this is my company. So if you got something to say, let's hear. Right. Speak with your chest.
What else was I about to say? Sometimes nobody at the fabric. That was just like a example. Right. Like I had to like.
So, but going back into the Dubai trip, do you because you were going to go through what happened with specific orders?
Okay, so like people walking in very upset to see my face. Like they want to see you. Like they walking into their fittings, just hate it. So like the very first order was the talk show. Yes. Whatever. So it was like you told me what to do. Mm-hmm. I did everything you told me what to do. But when she got there, it was like I don't like how she did this. I don't like this part. I don't like this part. And then they'll talk about the last fit they had with you. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, because I came to the other fit and then I didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. She said she was going to fix it. And, it was like stuff like that. So then, but what you telling me, right? Yeah. Now I got
2 things.
Now I gotta go back and it's like double the work now.
Which to me annoys me because customers, and that customer in particular, was like, okay, this fits good, everything's fine, just
But
make the
then
bow.
when she got there, she was like, I don't like the way it fit. Like she was talking about.
And I almost feel like people are taking advantage of you not knowing what happened in the first fitting, maybe.
Yeah.
Or taking advantage of you to get more things done that they know I didn't agree to because it would have cost more money, or I told them it would cost more money and they didn't want to pay the extra money. So then they're going to tell you and act like that was the plan the whole time. But you never told me that they told you specific things, maybe because you believed them. So now you're doing 15 more things that they never ordered in the first place, like the shoulder pads. Like,
but it did look like, I forget what was wrong. So I'm like, oh, shoulder pads would be a good idea to make it look
Which
better.
is cool, but then
like,
the person showing up late when you had to leave and go to work, to me, is unacceptable.
Right.
Because if you say, I'm leaving at 2 p.m.
But everybody did that, though. It wasn't even just her. It was like the customers
and
didn't
nobody
care.
would have got their order.
Nobody cared that I had another job.
Nobody would have got their order from me. If I say I have to leave at 2 and you show up at 3, you will show up to a closed door because I have other obligations. Or I would say, if you're going to be late, you need to let me know within 15 minutes. Or I would have said, it's $2 a minute every minute that you're late. Mm-hmm. And I bet you they would be on time.
Right.
Because if you're 10 minutes late, that's an extra $20.
Right.
And so on. So I think that you could have said this to me because you're just saying now that happened with almost everyone when back then you told me it only happened with her.
It wasn't really nothing to say. Like I didn't feel like, I feel like I was thinking about not being selfish.
Right.
I felt like I watch you work, watch you have a crazy prom season. Mm-hmm. And even before prom season, like, you know, like you never complain, like you just, you know. Mm-hmm. You being away, I felt you deserved it.
Right.
So I was just like, I'm not gonna bother.
Right. I just felt like hearing about it after the fact bothered me because I'm like, I could have maybe solved some of these problems for you.
Right. But like, I could have, if it wasn't on the podcast, I probably wouldn't tell you either.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. And that bothers me still because I felt like I could have, and still, I feel like I could have solved half these problems for you. Again, texting them, hey, just so you know, it's $2 a minute when you're late for a pickup, especially when I have vocalized that I have other obligations 24 hours before.
But who wants to be away on vacation
and be bothered? I'd rather be bothered with little things where I can fix them versus hearing from customers afterwards and they're all upset and crying and then I never heard anything from you. So I'm like, is everything okay? Is she really not telling me nothing and the customer is crazy? Or is...
I feel like I told you every time.
You definitely did not.
Probably really gotta like scroll up.
I think half the time you never told me.
I took pictures. Every time something went wrong, I took pictures. I
don't got no pictures of that pink outfit.
Oh.
I never got no pictures of the pink outfit. And with the crying.
Probably because that was the first one. I didn't.
Yeah.
That was the very first one. So, yeah. But like moving forward, when stuff went wrong, I just was like pictures.
But I also never got pictures of the bodysuit after the first picture of it being too tight. Like I never heard anything. You told me it was too tight, and I walked you through making it bigger and all the other stuff. But then I didn't hear anything until her next fitting, which in my mind
it was going good.
Oh, okay. What'd that say?
Church.
Oh, okay.
I felt like it was going good. Mm-hmm. Like I did exactly what you told me to do.
Right.
But
then you wasn't going off of the picture.
I didn't know I was supposed to add that.
Right. But I had sent you the picture.
But you didn't put it in the... You know I was following...
I actually put it... I did. I don't know if you scrolled. 100%.
You put it in our text messages.
Okay.
But the list that you sent me... Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was looking at every single day.
Okay.
I didn't even like... Whatever you was texting me...
Right.
I should have...
But I guess I assume that against the list, you would also follow the pictures, especially with that one, because I knew that you would probably just be looking at the pictures every time just to make sure. So, but either way, I know that you weren't trying to bother me because you were trying to be super considerate with me being on vacation. And I felt like that was a grace that I appreciate 1,000%. On the flip side, it was like when a customer would message me that there's an issue and I never heard that there was an issue from you or the other seamstress, I felt blindsided. Because I'm like, I haven't heard about this order for 10 days. So
when you sewing, you don't think it's an issue. Right?
Okay.
Until they try it on, you see the issue.
Okay.
And then, like, the blue dress, I didn't feel like as I'm sewing it, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work. I told you that.
Right.
The other stuff, I felt fine with.
Okay.
So.
I mean, okay, so let's scale back a little bit. If there were 9 orders, only 4 got worked on. And if you were there every day for...
That's how long it was taking me.
I know. But to me, if I was this is what I imagine happened.
And you got to remember I was sick.
Right. But this is what I imagined was happening. You, instead of, okay, this order number 2 is taking me 7 hours to do. Okay, now I'm working on order number 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. You know what? Order number 2 is not working out. Let me move on to order number 3. Okay, I'm finished A, B, and C of order number 3. I only have 2 more things to do. Before I finish those 2 more things, the next day, let me start on order number 5 because this hasn't been touched at all. And then the day before that fitting, I'll finish order number 3. And then, like, this is how I would have done it. And then the next day, okay, now that I've worked on order number 2 for 4 hours, I know I want to leave in 2 more hours. Let me just get a little bit done on order number 7. That way each thing is getting done. I feel like you worked on the same 3 orders for 30 days and didn't touch order numbers 5 through 9, which really like upset me. But because I'm like, there was no time to add 4 buttons to this. That would have only took an hour or 2 hours out of any of those days where you were struggling to seam rip the same thing 7 times.
Right.
Instead of seam ripping those things, the buttons on this could have been done.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that's like, remember what I said earlier? Like, you know how to problem solve. Or like, you know, you've been doing it longer than me.
Right.
So I didn't think to do that. I'm just like, this gotta get done. Let me work on it. Her event coming up, just more important. I put the stuff that's the stuff that's closer, the dates that's closer, just got my full attention.
Right. At a certain point, with me being in Dubai, I decided that I don't have the mental capacity to be upset on vacation. So I told everyone, your order is canceled. When I get back, I will send you a full refund. And problem solved, because I didn't want to spend the last 2 weeks like I spent the first 2 weeks, which was basically getting messages from customers, being upset, just really like in a bad mood on vacation. And so at a certain point, I was just like, work on it, don't work on it, I don't care. Like, if everything blows up, it's fine.
Yeah, you didn't care, but I was like, that wasn't my mindset. I was just like, you gotta get done.
Right.
And I feel like anybody else, they just would have walked out of your store and quit. Like 100%, never came back.
100%. I mean, I definitely feel that. But I also told you at a certain point, right? I said, you don't have to work on these orders anymore because I told them I was going to give them a refund. The Ireland.
Yeah.
So I thought at that point the other orders were already done and picked up or canceled. So I felt like the last 2 weeks you wouldn't have to worry about anything. You could just focus on the regular store because the orders that were...
I was still working on something.
Yeah, you were still working on
the Sweet 16 dress. I still had to like fix stuff like she didn't.
Right. That was picked up on...
I was working on that for like... That wasn't in the schedule. So when she didn't finish...
Right.
And that came in the schedule, that pushed me back. But it was like things like the tool. Like one of them,
wasn't fully.
One of them wasn't attached. You know how you miss?
Right.
When you sew into it, like you'll miss a layer. Mm-hmm. That wasn't fully attached. Like, right. So the zipper, it was like a lot. It was still a lot. When she dropped it off, it was still a lot to do. And
my assumption was her dropping that off, okay, you're done. That order is done. The other orders were either done or canceled. And the last 2 weeks or week and a half, because that was like around August 16th. And I came back on the 25th.
That was the 20th. That was the 19th.
She picked up on the 19th? She picked up
on the 19th. Her party was on the 20th.
Okay. So I guess that was only like 1 week left. Mm-hmm. So, at that point, I was like, okay, everything's done with it. Either it went bad or it was canceled. So hopefully the last 2 weeks would be fine, but it was only a week left. Mm. But again, like I had to mentally decide, like I literally cannot be on vacation out here in this beautiful country trying to experience life and being mad about back home every day. But from your perspective, I 100% agree. Like that was a difficult situation for you to deal with. And I was very upset on your behalf because you told me at a certain point, like customers are mad when they walk in and you're not here. Mm-hmm. Which to me, again, like I said in the last episode, I feel like my customers are very spoiled. Mm-hmm. Like, am I not allowed to have a life? Maybe they're used to it. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be a long episode, child. But y'all gonna learn something today. I'll tell you, these are conversations that maybe y'all need to have in y'all businesses for sure. Mm-hmm. The lessons that we're talking about today that we're learning and going through, you might be going through those as well with people that work with you, for you, and the customers that you have. But I was very upset for you because I felt like I never expected it to be rough. I really thought.
Yeah, and that's why I wasn't mad because I'm like, I understand. Like, I understand why. Mm-hmm. But I just wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't have left nothing.
Yeah.
Like, no orders.
Mm-hmm. Even a third seamstress.
Oh, yeah. Even when he walked in, though, he complained. Like, he looked at it
and it was crazy to me. So, if y'all don't know, I mean, feel free to check out my Instagram or my website. Me personally, I've been designing gowns, specifically gowns, for 14 years. And I also have my bachelor's degree in fashion design. So maybe my level of work is different. Yeah. And maybe quality, efficiency, whatever. Like I've done the same thing. Said. That's what everybody said.
Yes. Yeah. People tell me stuff. Like they don't want to tell you. They tell it to me.
But I never feel like, for me, it's normal to make a gown in 6 hours from top to bottom.
Yeah, it is.
And for me, it's normal to have hems and zippers attached within an hour. And I realized that it would take anyone else longer, but I never think it's going to take a week. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that maybe my pace of working is extremely faster than other people because I literally have done the same thing like a robot over and over and over again 10,000 times to the point where I can problem solve and fix things.
That's what I said earlier.
Within a matter of seconds. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah. And I don't think that I realized that until this trip. Even though I do realize that other people take longer. I would think that what takes me 3 hours takes other people 9 to 12 hours. So if I leave a project, like for me, each of those dresses could be finished in 3 hours. So in my mind, I'm thinking it'll take you a day to a day and a half for each one. If there's 9 orders and you have a month of just 3 day periods, I thought honestly that each thing would be able to get done.
Yeah, but you gotta think too that when people came for their fittings.
Yeah, they added more or messed up something or said something needed different to be different.
So that's like 2 days.
Right.
That's added on like more time. Like nobody, when people came for their fitting, nobody picked up like that same day.
Yeah. Right.
What else?
I mean, we were going into that last seamstress real quick. Oh, yeah. So that last seamstress I had brought in the second to last week because I saw that you were struggling with these couple orders. I knew these couple orders weren't going to get touched. So I'm like, well, let me ask this other person.
The very first week I did touch them.
Oh, okay. Well,
but it was going on.
As time going on, I knew they weren't going to get touched. And at that point, I didn't necessarily care about those orders because I knew I had already offered a refund to that customer. But I did have another seamstress in the lineup, and I just asked them if this was something that they could do, send them pictures, told them what needed to be done. They replied, yes, I can do this. And then what happened?
He didn't touch it at all.
He didn't touch it at all.
He took it home. Didn't touch it at all. Never said nothing.
Never said anything. Basically did the same thing that I was frustrated with.
He could have said no.
He could have said no. It was really, at that point, you know, whatever. I really didn't even realize, I think, until I got back home that none of those things were done or being worked on. But it, again, was frustrating that people keep telling me yes, but the answer is no. I'm still lost as to, am I intimidating? Like, why do you see something? If I tell you, hey, if somebody tells me, hey, I would like you to do 3 backflips, I'm going to say, no, I don't do backflips. I'm not capable of doing backflips. I'm not about to learn how to do a backflip. I ain't doing no backflip. So why, if I give this seamstress an order and I show you picture, explain what needs to be done, in your mind you think, oh, I definitely can't do this. But you type, yeah, I'll pick that up. I'll do that, get that done for you. What? Why I say that when you mean the other thing? And then you said that particular seamstress told you from the gate that they were unable to do that. They were confused.
Did they take 2 stuff? Or
Yes,
took 1 thing.
They took 2.
Oh, okay. So the first thing was fine with him. It was the second thing.
Okay.
And he was just like, this could be like a good example. Like, he was just like, well, she doesn't have a pattern.
It was 2 rectangles.
So, but look, that might be like, you know, to you, it's just rectangles, but to him, he needed a pattern.
Could he not have asked me though? Because I also said, all you have to do, the fabric was a long, wide rectangle. And I said in the message, what you need to do with that yellow rectangle is cut it in half. So it's 2 long rectangles that are just skinnier. And one needs to be added to the front and one needs to be added to the back. He said, cool. Then he looked at it and was like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I told you how to do this. And you said, okay, it's 2 rectangles. It's a square. You got to cut in half and then add 1 square to the front, add 1 square to the back. Why did you just look at it and not touch it and not mention anything to me? I don't know. It was what it was when it was, and that is how it turned out.
I feel like even though it was a crazy experience, I'm kind of happy it happened. Why? I feel like I learned a lot and you learned a lot.
For sure.
Like, a lot of stuff that she was saying, like, even when we was in the store, like, you just speaking out loud, talking about like what you learned. Yeah. And they were like very good points. Yeah. So I'm kind of happy that, like, and I feel like you probably wouldn't have learned that if that would have never happened.
100%.
So
100%.
I think, yeah. Like, I'm not happy that happened. Not happy, but just grew from it.
Yeah. I definitely learned some things and definitely have to move differently in my business. And even, I mean, we didn't really even talk about like my separate experience in Dubai, but I definitely learned in Dubai from other business people that I was around that they don't have these type problems. And most of it is because they have resources and systems in place before anything happens to ensure that these things don't happen. But they also have businesses that are almost like built without them. Like, they built every part of their business without them in mind, so that if they ever needed to step away from the business or sell the business, that could easily happen. And I think my business is not, and I know for a fact after this trip, my business cannot be run without me. And that's a problem.
But I feel like it's just different for like a seamstress, because we have to
But I'm more
Do
so
the
a
work
fashion designer than a
and-
seamstress. And I think I started to become a seamstress more and more because
Yeah.
I knew people didn't have the skill level that I had.
Yeah. Like, you have to run a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to sew.
Yeah.
So, sewing is its own business.
100%.
But running the business is its own business too. So you running two businesses, basically.
I'm running 7 businesses because there are people who get hired to post, yet I'm posting and editing reels. There are people who get hired for customer service, yet I'm doing all the customer service. Mm-hmm. There are people who get hired to do administrative business backhand accounting, yet I'm doing business backhand accounting. Mm-hmm. So I definitely, moving forward, am trying to put systems in place where it can function without me, which means I have to hire an accountant. I have to hire a social media person. I have to hire a marketing person. Yeah, I can't be everything in the business and breathe easily at night. Yeah. And I definitely won't have time within my life to experience new things, have new relationships, build new connections if I'm always behind the sewing machine. Yeah. But we're going to have another episode that is going to be kind of about that, like how sewing and knowing how to sew holds you back. Yeah. So
that's definitely a different conversation.
We'll definitely dig into that. But I feel like this was a great conversation to have. Mm-hmm. How do you feel?
Great.
Great. So I hope you guys learned a little bit from our conversation. I hope it was helpful, useful. And if you have points, comments, concerns, emails, have situations that were similar to this or learned something specific, definitely let us know. You can email us at 7. Oh no, wait. That's something else. We're gonna have to cut that out.
But I was confused.
Email us.
I was like, wait.
Email us. Our email is in the description and on our Instagram and possibly our TikTok. Leave a comment. We will be posting the episodes as they post. And so, I used to end every episode at one point with count your blessings before you count your money.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot about that.
We gotta write stuff down.
So count your blessings before you count your money, guys. And we're going to leave you with that.
Bye.
Bye.